I'm Dr. Rajkiran Dole. On behalf of SCRD Assam, I would like to present detailed about the school quality assessment and assurance framework. This is the draft. This is the detailed report of field studies, policy document analysis, content development, discussions via workshops and consultations, then compilation, piloting, reviews, and final draft. So before going into the detail of SQAAF, I would like to talk briefly about the genesis. As we all know that there are four major parts of NEP 2020. The first part is school education, second part is higher education, third part is other key areas of focus, and the fourth part is making it happen. And out of the school education part, there are 8 major recommendations. As we can see, number 8 recommendation is fully on standard setting and accreditation for school education. So by now we have understood the emphasis given by NEP 2020 on regulation and accreditation of school education. NEP 2020 has recommended for an effective quality self-regulation or accreditation system, which is to be implemented for all stages of education, may it be public, private or philanthropic. It will be starting from preschool education in order to ensure compliance with the essential professional and quality standards. This policy has talked about separation of powers amongst 4 major wings of school education system, so that there is no conflict of interest and no excessive centralized concentration of powers, and this is as per para 8.5 of NEP 2020. Now we're talking about 4 wings of school education. The first wing is the Department of School Education, which will be responsible for making policies. The second wing is Directorate of School Education, and which will be dedicated for school operations and implementation of policies. The third wing is SQAAF. It will continue its endeavors in the academics like syllabus, curriculum, learning materials, trainings, and research. And the fourth wing is State School Standards Authority, that is SSSA. It will be fully working on the school regulation, and it will ensure that all schools follow certain minimum professional and quality standards. In addition to that, it is also mentioned that the certification of competencies of students at the school living stage will be handled by the Board of Assessment, that is Assam State School Education Board in Assam. Now coming to the State School Standards Authority, NEP 2020 has mentioned that SSSA will be an independent and statewide regulatory body which will ensure certain minimum professional and quality standards for all types of schools. This SSSA will mainly focus on the continuous improvements in educational outcomes through self-assessment. SSSA will also ensure complete transparency and full public disclosure of all finances, procedures, and educational outcomes. But at the same time, SSSA will not overly restrict the schools or prevent innovation or demoralize teachers, principals, and students. Rather, the regulation will act as the supportive mechanism and will aim to empower schools and teachers with trust and respect. It will also enable them to strive for excellence and perform at their very best in all aspects of school functioning. Now I'm going to talk about the action taken so far on SSSA as per the mandate of NEP 2020 in the state of Assam. State of Assam had constituted an interim state school standards authority in 2023 under the chairmanship of Professor Noni Gopal Mohanto Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Guwahati University. A full-fledged body of SSSA as per the mandate of NEP 2020 is yet to be established in Assam. A small unit or cell is functioning with 2-3 officers in the SCRT premises since 2024 as per the recommendation of interim SSSA, and the cell has been carrying forward the basic activities of SSSA. The draft bill of SSSA was prepared by SQAAF and submitted to the government for legislative approval in the 2023. And Honorable Minister of Education had a discussion on draft SSA bill with the officers involved in SSA activities and CSF team in presence of Secretary Education, Executive Director Samagra Shiksha and Director SCRT in the late 2024. Ministry of Education and NCRT used to seek updates on the development in the establishment of SSA and its ongoing activities from all the states through a monthly tracker, and SSA said it submits the regular updates accordingly every month. Now coming back to the SQAAF, that is School Quality Assessment and Assurance Framework. Since we have talked about SSA, now SSA will need certain yardsticks or frameworks for ascertaining quality educational outcomes with basic standards, and that is called SQAAF, School Quality Assessment and Assurance Framework. And as per the mandate of NEP 2020, para 8.5, that SQAAF will be developed by SCRT, and that is why we are here today for sharing. SQAAF is nothing but a set of standards and best practices for schools that are aligned with the goals of NEP 2020. With the help of SQAAF, schools will be able to identify their existing levels and positions wherever they stand. The basic parameters of SQAAF should include safety, security, basic infrastructure, number of teachers across subjects and grades, financial probity, and sound processes of governance. Now, the vision of SQAAF is to provide a framework for assessment and assurance based on self-evaluation and external assessment to predetermined standardized norms and benchmarks for continuous quality enhancement and smooth functioning of schools which are affiliated to State Board of Education, in case of that is Assam State School Education Board. The coverage of the SQAAF will be all the schools which are affiliated to Assam State School Education Board, irrespective of government, provincialized, private or philanthropic. Now, we have carried out different activities in the process of developing SQAAF. Like we have conducted a number of school visits in many districts of Assam, and we have also conducted consultative meet by involving various stakeholders like NCRT, CBSE, Interim SSA, Directorate of Elementary and Secondary Education, and Assam State School Education Board, SCERT, Samagra Shiksha, Teacher Education Institutions, including DIETs and CTEs, then higher education institutions including central universities and state universities as well as colleges, and principals of schools, then members of SMC and SMDCs, teachers, NGOs, so on and so forth. We have also conducted workshops, and from time to time we have been giving the updates to our Education Secretary, and we have shared first draft, second draft, and after piloting also we have reviewed, and today we are here for final sharing. Now, while preparing the SQAAF Assam, we have taken many policy documents as terms of reference, like NEP 2020, Sarthak, Parak SQAAF, which is developed by NCERT, then SQAAF developed for PMC schools, then SQAAF CBSE, then Performance Grading Index parameters we have reviewed, then Sala Siddhi developed by NIPA, Goa SQAAF also we have revisited, then Gunotsav parameters of Assam. Now, in the process of developing this SQAAF, these esteemed members were with us in continuous guidance and reviewing the SQAAF document at every stage. Dr. Divyajyoti Mahanta sir, Chairperson NCTE, Sri K.K. Chaudhary sir, former Regional Director and Controller of Examination, CBSE, New Delhi, Dr. Nirada Devi Madam, Director SCRT Assam, Dr. Jayanta Kumar Sharma sir, Director Adult and Non-Formal Education and Additional Director of SCERT. This is the comparative domains of SQAAF prepared by different agencies. CBSE SQAAF has 4 steps and 4 levels. They have 7 major domains, which you can see in the display. SQAAF PMC has followed 4 step 4 levels. I will explain about this step and level. They have used 6 domains, and Parak SQAAF has used 5 domains, and Assam has come up with 3-step 3-level formula with 7 major key domains, namely curriculum, pedagogy and assessment with a weightage of 40%, infrastructure 8%, governance and leadership 10%, human resource management 12%, equitable and inclusive practices 10%, health hygiene and safety security 10%, and community participation and beneficiary feedback 10%. So this is the graphical representation of the key domains of SQAAF Assam with different weightages as shown in the display. Now there may be a question as to why do we need separate SQAAF for Assam, whereas there are existing many SQAAF prepared by many agencies. So we need a SQAAF which is context based, that is relevant to our state's context. We have different dimensions, different demographies in the state, so we need a SQAAF which is directly relevant to our state. Then we have revisited the policy documents related to SQAAF of many agencies. We have seen that these documents are a little bit complex in terms of understanding, and it will be little bit difficult for implementation as per our understanding. So we have tried to simplify the SQAAF Assam, as well as we have seen that the SQAAF should be acceptable for all the schools as well as teachers as a supplementary mechanism for school functioning. And the SQAAF Assam is adaptable and accommodative, which includes all types of schools and fit into different schools like tea garden managed schools, provincialized schools, government schools, private philanthropic schools. Assam has also different dynamics, like remote locality schools are in majority in number. We are struggling with low PTR. We are also very poor in dropouts. Then our students are struggling with learning gaps. So Assam needs a separate SQAAF which is context to the state of Assam. And most importantly, NEP 2020 has mentioned that all the states and union territories will develop their own SQAAF for their respective states. And also NCERT, after developing the Parak SQAAF, they have encouraged the states to contextualize or develop at their own by taking Parak SQAAF as terms of reference. Now this is the three-step level formula as I have mentioned. The first step is key domains, then subdomains, then third step is levels and performance indicators. And we have three levels. Level 1 is basic. We have localized it as Bunyadi. Then level 2 is progressive. We have named it as Bikokito. Level 3 is dynamic, named as Unnoto. Now coming to the key domains and subdomains of SQAAF Assam. As against the key domain 1, that is curriculum, pedagogy and assessment, we have 12 subdomains, namely curriculum alignment, teaching learning process, flexibility in subject choices for secondary stage of education. Now coming to the piloting, what we have observed in the piloting, the first observation was difficulty in understanding the language by many of the schools. So we have suggested the interventions like SQAAF is to be translated into Assamese language or any other prevalent languages so that they can understand easily and implement the suggestions. Number 2 is gap in record keeping and documentation. So many schools could not produce the evidences of their activities on the spot. So the schools should be made mandatory for record maintenance for all the activities conducted in the school. Number 3 is confusion in understanding the certain terminologies or contents which are used in the SQAAF, and also unawareness of some common terminologies of NEP 2020. So to this end, the actionable points can be some of the key terminologies or contents have to be defined in the draft SQAAF. It is operational definitions are to be given, which we have already done. The modified copy is already served in your tables. Also, we have to conduct awareness and orientation programs on NEP 2020 for the schools located in the remote localities. The fourth observation is inappropriate positioning of performance indicators in the levels. So we have seen that some performance indicators placed in level 2 should be actually placed in the level 3. So likewise, the intervention required is keeping in tune with the feasibility for implementation. The performance indicators have to be interchanged in the levels, which we have already done. Fifth observation is remote or tea garden schools. These are far behind in many basic parameters. So in this case, implementation of SQAAF can be initially done in the schools located in the urban areas. Gradually, this can be extended to other schools in tea garden or shore areas or rural and remote areas. Sixth observation is reluctant attitude amongst the schools which are located in the tea garden areas. Then other schools Other schools, they have initially they did not understand the contents, but while understanding the in-depth significance, then they realized that SQAAF is nothing but a tool for self-assessment and improvement. So in this case, schools will have to be sensitized for accepting SQAAF positively. Now, as we have prepared the draft SQAAF, so we have also suggested, given some suggestive implementation strategy so that the SQAAF can be implemented effectively and with positive aspect. So the first key step suggested is the dissemination of key concepts of SQAAF. So for this, there may be awareness programs, training programs, and orientation programs at different levels, maybe at the state level, district level, block level, cluster level, school level, and also the SQAAF parameters can be discussed in the monthly teachers orientations by the CRCC. Secondly, the SQAAF implementation team, that is internal quality monitoring cell, IQMC. So we have suggested for IQMC to be constituted with the members involving stakeholders like teachers, parents, guardians, community members, SMC, SMDC members, alumni. So this function of the IQMC will be mainly on SQAAF and performance grading index, with special focus on these aspects like UDICE plus, Shiksha Setu, PM portion, Vidyanjali, and they will also work on interventions for improving students' learning outcomes. Then also they will work on post-NAS interventions. They will also function as career counseling cell. They will ensure access, dropout prevention and out-of-school children. Then they will work on infrastructure and facilities. They will ensure maximum utilization of existing resources and mobilization of new resources from different sources. And they will ensure transparency and governance or record maintenance. Then they will also facilitate teachers' professional development through training, professional qualification development of the teachers, Aadhaar seeded into electronics database or CPT courses. And third key step is conduct of self-assessment. The schools will evaluate themselves, their performance across the 7 key domains as mentioned in the SQAAF, and they will also grade themselves as per the scoring, and they will analyze the gaps and prioritize action areas. Then they will assess learning outcomes of students. So all these activities are directly or indirectly related to performance grading index. As you can see, the domains of major domains of performance grading index in the last column, that is learning outcomes and quality, access, infrastructure and facilities, equity, governance and processes, teacher education and training. So they have 73 key indicators, and these indicators are not very different from the indicators mentioned in the SQAAF Assam. Fourth step is development of action plan for improvement, that is school development plan. As we all know that all the schools must mandatorily prepare a school development plan. So if they consider the parameters of SQAAF, which are mentioned here, in the development of SDP, then it will be beneficial for them. Also, the SQAAF will be effectively implemented. The fifth step is improving institutional processes. So, based on the action plan, as mentioned above, some activities can be conducted like conduct workshop and training programs, update school practices, actively involve stakeholders in different school developmental activities, then devise and implement need-based interventions. Then sixth step is monitoring progress and evaluation. The schools will conduct review meetings with IQMC from time to time. They will check progress as per SQAAF and SDP parameters, then discuss about delays, challenges and best practices, and they will reassign scores based on SQAAF Assam. Seventh key step is public disclosure of school information. The schools will upload data on the SSSA website. Also, data and information of SQAAF can be linked with Shiksha Setu or UDICE Plus. The eighth step is external evaluation, which can be decided by the authority in due course of time. These all activities which are mentioned here are ultimately linked to the SDG 4, which is to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Now coming to the conclusion, this SQAAF Assam endeavors for quality improvement based on its parameters, 7 key domains, helping thereby in achieving SDG 4 through direct or indirect contribution on performance grading index. Initially, SQAAF should be suggestive. It should not be mandatory. It can be made optional, as Director Madam has already mentioned, for the schools who are aspiring for improvements. Also, implementation of SQAAF can be done in the schools which are located in the urban areas initially, and then gradually this can be extended to other schools which are located in the tea garden, shore areas, rural and remote areas. While we have to keep in mind one thing, that while the schools of entire nation follows SQAAF, or some of them are following in different forms, then Assam will also have to implement this one day or the other. Therefore, it will be better for us to start the initial activities at an early date, so that we can move forward a little bit at least. And if the government feels the need, then SSSA can be designated as the nodal agency for liaising with all the departments of education for ensuring quality educational outcomes, and also for working continuously on all parameters of performance grading index with the help of SQAAF, and monitoring and evaluation and guidance to schools in all quality parameters. So finally, I am concluding my presentation with a statement that moving ahead by actively considering SDG 4 as the vision and SQAAF and PGI as the mission, this is expected that this initiative will lead our state towards the best performing states in education in the nation in near future. So this is all about the SQAAF, and these are some of the pictures which we have taken during our SQAAF development activities. So this is the photo of first consultative meet in which Honorable Minister of Education, Professor Nanigopal Mohanto sir, and Secretary of Education graced the occasion. Then these are photographs of workshops, in-house sharing, reviews, then school visits, surveys, then piloting of schools. Thank you. So that's all about the presentation. At the end, I would like to thank Honorable Director Madam for giving me the opportunity to share the draft scope before you, and also I would like to thank my teammates, Dr. Iman Bordolo, Dr. Kosturi Kodogi, for helping me in preparing this presentation. Thank you.